Okay, let me, okay. I get it. There he is.
You can ever I've had social media is this campaign. So now I'm doing Instagram Live. It's a whole new world.
Whole new world. Okay, let me, okay. I get it. There he is.
You can see me and hear me.
I can see you and hear you.
I had to switch to my phone. I thought I could do it on my computer.
Oh, it's a, yes.
All right, great.
And you all, I sent you the whole thing, except I didn't say it had to be on your phone.
This is the first time ever I've had social media is this campaign. So now I'm doing Instagram Live. It's a whole new world.
Whole new world. It's a good world. It's a fun world, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fun. How are you doing, Alexis?
I'm doing good. I want to welcome you to the WHIP, SB, and we're excited to have you here. I just want to say that you are a candidate for the 4th District council member seat. You are challenging Kristen Sneddon. Can you tell us a little bit who you are?
Yeah. My name's Barrett. I'm born and raised in Santa Barbara. I have a beautiful wife, a 1.5-year-old son named Thatcher, and a little girl on the way due in late November. So we're a really happy family. My business is here. I've got a long-term business partner. And over the past 4 years or so, I've really started getting involved in our city as my business partner in different ways. I've said it before. Having grown up here, and with the exception of a few years in college in LA, this is the most important moment for me, for our city in my lifetime. And it's not all negative. I mean, what's getting my attention is a poorly run city with poor leadership, and I think that's leading to kind of the state of affairs throughout the city. But I think it's an incredible opportunity. So
Can you tell me a little bit more about the not the poor leadership, but why you think the leadership isn't there, and why you think Santa Barbara's in the state it is right now?
Yeah. Well, we have leadership at the staff level of in our city government, but ultimately we as residents and voters hold our city council, 6 city council members and a mayor, 7 in total. We hold them accountable for the decisions or the lack thereof, and the end result of how our city is operated. Right now, I see a leadership that is extremely fractured, and I'm speaking specifically of the city council first and foremost. I see distraction after distraction that isn't so much of which isn't city related, and inexperience. I think we have we have a council that is ill-equipped to deal with what matters the most right now, what is the most visible, what is the most impactful to us as residents, as visitors, as locals, as business owners, as kids. I mean, Alexis, I'm a worker. I'm a hard worker. I'm taking this campaign seriously. So I've been walking every day. I've knocked on thousands of doors. And for me, I mean, I'm running for a district, not the whole city. I'll still represent the whole city. I'll vote on issues that affect the whole city. But I'll be elected by a smaller group in what's called District 4. I've talked to a lot of those residents in District 4 from every single neighborhood in District 4.
Mm-hmm.
What's that?
What have you learned when you're knocking on the doors?
Yeah, my assumption, it was incorrect. My assumption was that they would care most about the things in their immediate neighborhood. They would care most about residential issues. It is primarily a residential district. By a long shot, nearly 2-to-1 over any other issue, homelessness, primarily in the downtown, is what people bring up. Democrat, Republican, independent, property owner, homeowner, tenant, doesn't matter. Homelessness. 2-to-1, easily.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking about well over 1,000 people.
Mm-hmm.
And then the downtown, the state of the downtown, the sadness, especially with long-time residents who loved our downtown, who love our downtown, who love State Street. They don't go there anymore. When I talk to young families, it's not that different from my own. They don't want to go down there with their kids. I mean, you read the news. It's real. It's scary. It's sad. And the basic function of our city government, our city council, is public safety and to create and maintain a clean and a safe environment. That isn't happening. And if we don't have that, we can't build on anything. I mean, we're talking about a downtown master plan effort and all these big ideas and important ones. But if we don't address the basics of our community and those fundamentals are broken, forget about anything else. So that's what I'm hearing. That's what I am experiencing myself. And that's what I'm responding to. And I think we have leadership, and I'll speak specifically in District 4 to the incumbent that I'm running against, that I'm challenging, that lacks leadership, lacks vision, lacks action where it matters most. She has strong suits. And frankly, I don't disagree with her on all that much. It's just, how do you lead on those issues? And what action are you willing to take? And what plan or what vision is that coming out of? That's where I have concern. And the stakes are just too high. You know, we have, in my opinion, the most special city in the world. And when you have as much as we have, and I'm not going to apologize for all that we have one of the greatest cities in so many different ways. We also have a lot to lose. We are very privileged here. But what is so innately great about this city is going away. And I just can't stand for that.
So what does action look like to you? What is it specifically that you would bring to the table? So
just responding to what people are saying in my district, that homelessness is the top concern. And it does directly impact the district as well. I mean, I live in the Eucalyptus Hill area, and we've had smaller encampments in some of our little valleys, and it's scary. So it's not just downtown. Downtown's what's most visible, but I think that it's unsafe for everyone when people live unsheltered. And so I don't think we have really hit on any solutions yet to our homelessness crisis as a city. Our council reacted to what could have been a devastating fire event on the Mesa. And that prompted them to act. But a 4-month lease for 35 hotel rooms at nearly $2 million is not a solution. That's not a solution. That's just a reaction. Mm-hmm. And maybe some good can come of it, but I'd be much more cost conscious. And we're creating another problem by the response to that fire. And what I mean is something that is very district specific: infrastructure. Our water gets shut off all the time. There's broken water mains. There's dangerous sidewalks. The streets are in disrepair. I mean, you walk the Riviera, it's horrible. We took $2 million from Measure C funds that we already didn't have. That is specific to that basic infrastructure. And we used it to fund the Rose Garden Inn project. So it's time to be a little bit more strategic. It's time to be a little bit more proactive, a little less reactive. It's time to not be fearful in our leadership. And so there are solutions. I believe Santa Barbara, not unlike Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, Oregon, is very accommodating to the homeless community. And what I mean is we attract them. And to be effective in solving the crisis of homelessness, we have to do two things. We have to enforce the laws, and in my opinion, strengthen those laws. And at the same time, we have to provide shelter. And if you only do one, let's say you only crack down hard on the homeless and enforce the laws and arrest them for small or large crimes and fill up the jail, well, then they're going to just come back out onto the streets, and you're going to have a mess on your hands. If you solely focus on services and housing and funding, and you don't enforce the laws like we aren't, you're going to create a very attractive environment for the homeless to remain homeless. You're going to incentivize it, and then you're going to run out of money. So you have to do both. Mm-hmm. And we could talk for 5 hours on what the actionable steps are for each. But there's very clear and obvious steps to take. We're just not taking it. I think it first starts with identifying those most vulnerable and at risk and directing our resources towards them. Mm-hmm. Our services and our temporary shelter. And by and large, we're not doing that. And neither is the county.
Good answers. Yep. I want to, we don't want to take sides here. We want to be a platform for people to participate in local politics. And so we posed a question last week when we notified people that we were going to be doing an Instagram Live with you if they had any questions for you. So we got a handful of responses. Are you up for hearing them?
Let's do it.
Okay. The first one, and some of them were anonymous, but the first one, which actually 3 different people asked, but Geneva Lovett specifically really wanted to know if you were Democrat or Republican.
I'm technically, it's called decline to state or no party preference. Most people call it independent. But you want to be careful though, because you could actually register as an independent, and that's a very far right kind of conspiracy theory party. So I am a decline to state. It's easier to just say independent. I'm neither Republican nor Democrat, and I'm very happy to be where I'm at.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't necessarily fit into either party. I don't necessarily feel welcome by either party. And something I've heard Jerry Roberts say a number of times in the last few months is there's almost this tribal mentality in politics and political parties, and they are so far apart. And I just don't have any interest in that. And I don't have any interest in politics outside of the city of Santa Barbara. So mark my words on that. If I get elected and then you see me ambitiously seeking another office, call me out, because I have zero plans to do that.
What about, do you have any aspirations to be mayor one day?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. Ideally, I would like to serve 2 full terms on city council, ideally, and then be in a position to run for mayor. And that would be it. That would be it. Okay. And not for my benefit, just to serve this city. And it would indirectly benefit me because I live in it. I'm not going anywhere.
Neither am I.
Yeah, good. Hey, Alexis, real quick, what prompted you to do this? It's very cool what you're doing. What prompted you to start the WHIP?
Well, so it's not just me. I'm working with a team of people, and I told James Joyce last week, I believe. People are like, what is the WHIP? What is the WHIP? Well, the thing is, national politics is easy to partake in. Local politics is where you can really affect change and your immediate community. And it seems as though people don't participate as much in local politics unless they hear this alarm bell and it directly affects them. Last year, living there with the election, there was a lot of school activity in our neighborhood about the board, about a bond, and people kept talking about it. And on a different platform where politics is not encouraged, it's more neighborhood related. And we were thinking there should be a real platform designated specifically to local politics so that people can easily navigate the issues, the candidates, use it as a platform for you to come on and talk about things that you are doing, accomplishing, want to accomplish, all of that. So
I think you're going to be successful.
Well, so the app will be dropping. We're working with about 6 different engineers creating this app, and we're going to be releasing it in the fall. We're getting closer every day, and I'll start to reveal what the app looks like. It'll be a platform. And if you have any ideas for us or anyone out there, we are very happy to listen to that because we want everyone to be involved.
Great. Good work.
So, thanks. Well, let's get back to some of the questions that people wanted to ask you. Some of them, I will tell you, this one is a little tricky. Barrett, how will you keep your public work completely separate from your business interests?
Yeah. So I'm on the city, good question, great question. I'm on the City Planning Commission, and I've been on the City Planning Commission. I was appointed to it almost 2 years ago. And I was asked that question during my interview with City Council. And I had gone back over the last 4 years, 3 or 4 years, and looked at all the projects and compared it to stuff I have myself. And we don't have that many projects in town. I mean, we're a small business that fixes up spaces that are broken, vacant, poorly maintained. And so when I joined Planning Commission, I was hyper cautious about conflicts of interest. So anything that had not just proximity to something we were reviewing on Planning Commission, but just, just any sort of connection, I would recuse myself. I'd recuse myself. And so I did that in a short period of time, without a lot of consulting of the FPPC or our city attorney. I just recused myself. And because I thought, that is very important. I serve the city, the council. There's a reputation to uphold. So, but since then, I haven't had any. I've started to get into the groove and understand what qualifies for recusal versus not. So I don't think I have. I don't think I have a big problem there, and certainly on Planning Commission versus City Council, we're reviewing projects, so there's a lot more opportunity to be recused on Planning Commission than there would be on City Council. But where I may have overlap, frankly, the business that I'm in, the experience that I have, is not a disqualifier to my work on Planning Commission or what I'm looking to do on City Council. I think it's the very thing that qualifies me. I think it's the very thing that our City Council needs. We are a land use city. And you read our general plan or a summary of it, that is what drives our city. So that is the experience I have brought to Planning Commission. That's experience that I think is much needed on City Council. I think we need small business perspective on City Council. We need property perspective on City Council, and that is the driver of our city. So I'm excited to bring that.
Okay. Another question on someone who wants to get to know you a little better. Barrett is a white male, heterosexual developer. What current causes are you especially passionate about? What protests, marches have you participated in? Black Lives Matter, Women's March, Earth Day, etc.
Good question. I said it in a couple of interviews, I believe, one or two, that I volunteer at the Santa Barbara County Jail. I have been for about 10 years. So that's the most important to me. Our city, our county, has some of the highest recidivism rates. That's a complicated word, but what it means is when someone gets booked into jail, what's the likelihood, what's the percentage that they just end up right back in there? I go into the areas where the inmates live, and I just simply build relationships with them, not unlike CityNet that does that for homeless outreach throughout our city. I do that with the inmate community, and many of those inmates are chronically homeless. It's most definitely the hardest work I do. And I've had, since announcing this campaign, I've read comments and received messages that I lack empathy for the marginalized in our community, or for the homeless, that I don't have a compassionate response. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I've served every week for 10 years to a group that is some of the most marginalized in our city and our community, and I love those people. I love those people, and I do what I can for those people, and in that community, you have a significant Black population, and I love them. You have a significant Latino population, and I love them. You have a much smaller white population, and I love them. I care for them. And that would be my answer. That's the most near and dear to my heart.
Okay. This last one, this person wants to know, who is your hairstylist? Your hair is so on point.
Oh, good question. I go to Walter Claudio. Walter Claudio is a supporter, and Jesse cuts my hair there, and I can't say enough for Walter Claudio.
Fantastic. That one made me chuckle.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. Yep. Well, you know what? Let's wrap this up. I don't want to take your whole time, but what do you want to leave people with as your platform? As you want to talk to the 4th District specifically, I'm going to hand the mic over to you. What do you have to say?
It would be arguably the greatest honor in my life to serve as a city council member for the whole city and District 4. And District 4 ranges from Coast Village all the way out to San Roque. So San Roque, Upper East, Riviera, Eucalyptus Hill. I promise to bring objectivity and no special interests, no political interests, no union interests, just city-focused leadership, vision with action. I, specifically to District 4, I want to protect our neighborhoods. We didn't get into that today, but there are very real threats to every residential and single-family neighborhood throughout Santa Barbara. And some of the most special to me are in District 4, some of our most historic single-family neighborhoods. I will stand up for those neighborhoods. And I will take the unpopular position on City Council and just say no to the state. I will be fiscally responsible and ensure that the Measure C promise for infrastructure in District 4 throughout the city is followed through on, and that we're not taking those funds out of reactive leadership to solve other problems. I will work tirelessly to turn this city around. And I will bring all of my experience to City Council, all of my resources, all of my relationships to serve this city that I love. I love Santa Barbara, like so many. And I would ask for that opportunity to serve it in this way.
Fantastic. Well, if you want to talk some more, you are always invited back.
Thank you.
Love to do this again with you and get into some other topics. But thank you.
Great.
We wish you the best. We wish you well, and we'll all be watching. This is exciting now.
Thank you so much, Alexis. Congratulations on what you're doing. It's wonderful.
Thank you. Thank you. Take care.
All right. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.